Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the AJTRIP Show, episode 2. We're gonna talk about love languages and red flags a little bit later, but I wanted to um, start off this episode with a little bit of a rant. It was noted earlier in the week or sometime last week that um, President Biden has contracted an aggressive form of prostate cancer. It's spread to his bone and things like that. And you would think that people would have some class, have some dignity, have some respect. Let's have some human decency in wishing uh, him well and wishing him, you know, wishing the family well during this trying time, because it seems like this is a cancer that cannot be cured. Um, which means that unfortunately he's going to succumb to this cancer at some point. And so yeah, it's a unfortunate dealing that we had to have. With that said, I expected maybe some ridiculousness from the people on the right side of the aisle, and we got a little bit of that. People questioning whether or not he was in bad shape when he was the president. If he had if he had this cancer, when during the all of the early the first debate or anything like that. There's stuff coming out like that, which I think is us. I think is wrong. This isn't the right time to be discussing that. But surprisingly, people on the right side did have some respect. Even like Marjorie Taylor Greene put out a statement to like have send some like prayers towards the Biden family, things like that. So really interesting stuff, and I was glad to see that they didn't let politics, you know, crowd the line of human decency. With that being said, we did have a bunch of pieces of shit saying that it was karma for Joe Biden for having for helping Israel out in their fight against Hamas. And these idiots are still just ridiculous, and they still do not get it. Hamas is a terrorist organization. Yes, unfortunately, there are children that perished, during that battle. But Hamas is the one that started it. And it's time for Israel to finish it. And that's what happens in war. Sometimes, a lot of times, there are casualties of war. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants there to be casualties like that of innocent lives. But it has to be. And for you in this country to be so stupid that once you become anti-Semitic and hate the Jewish people, hate the Israelites, and you sympathize with the fucking terrorists, one that makes you a fucking idiot, and have questionable morals and stuff. Don't question the morals of the former president when you are siding with fucking terrorists. You have no right to question a president's morals when you are siding with the fucking terrorists. Fuck you. And then to put the shit on top of the ice cream, You didn't say it is karma, and Joe Biden is getting what he deserves for trying to kill the terrorists. If you have that thought and you have the ability, then I really hope you go fucking jump off a cliff somewhere. Because we don't need you in this world. You are not the type of human being we need in this world. Go jump off a cliff, go step in front of a bus, fall down a manhole, jump off Grand Canyon, do something to get away from this earth, because you are not wanted and you are not needed. Point blank, period, end of discussion. And then with that being said, I want to send my thoughts out to President Biden and his family as he unfortunately has to battle this unfortunate disease that we call cancer. I only can pray and hope. I don't shouldn't pray because I'm not a believer in religion. But I can only hope the next that for how much ever long time he has on this earth, he is in the least amount of pain. He is shown the most amount of love, and he does not even question one bit if what he did, taking out the terrorist organization Hamas, trying to take out the terrorist organization of Hamas, was the right thing to do. Because it always is the right thing to do. Now, with that said, this episode was supposed to be a little fun, be a little joyous, and we're gonna get to the fun and joyous part as we talk about red flags and love languages. That's coming up next. Alright, so now to the good stuff, right? We need to get to the good stuff. So, love languages and red flags. So, for those of you who guys don't know, love languages are like the things that you do when you are in a relationship that kind of shows how much you love the person, right? Like that, and these demonstrate the way that you show your love towards your partner. Excuse me. So you have these things. There are 5 love languages that most people know about: acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation, and physical touch. So let's go into each of every one of them. Acts of service. This is a love language where actions speak louder than words. So basically, acts of service has to do with how well somebody takes care of their partner's physical and environmental needs. A person who identifies with the love language appreciates being shown through their partner's actions how much they are cared for. Some of these actions usually include taking something off their plate, going out of the way to do something for them. Examples consist of household chores, taking the kids to school, doing a busy morning, picking up the dry cleaning, anything actionable with the message being, I care about you. So, that is acts of service. And while you're listening to this, think about what your love languages are. I think I would give you my love languages as well. I think I have 2 love languages, not just one. On the second one, receiving gifts. For those whose love language is receiving gifts, they feel most special when receiving a heartfelt physical representation of how much a person loves you. It may sometimes be confused as materialistic, but it is truly the thought that counts here. After all, it's more about the meaning of the gift, not the price tag. It's about the gift being a symbol of how well I know you and how much I like you and listen to you. Gifts can be small things like flowers or candy, or bigger things like fancy jewelry or a car. At the end of the day, gift giving is really about demonstrating your love for somebody by giving them something you know they would appreciate. So, for an example, you're in a relationship with somebody, and they continue to talk about how you know how they would love to get a you know maybe I don't know, but maybe they would just love to get a new a a new toaster, a new type of toaster, a new type of something like that. I don't know. I'm just saying they would get a new type of toaster, right? So then when their birthday comes up, that's what you buy them. You buy them the exact toaster they've been saying they've been wanting for the last 6 or 7 months. And that would be receiving gifts. Receiving gifts. Quality time. Quality time refers to the uninterrupted focus or time together with no distractions. It's about prioritizing that time together and truly giving your partner your attention, connecting on an emotional level, actively listening, and being engaged. It is often helpful to plan these instances of quality time, setting up a calendar invitation for your partner, or building that time into your weekly schedule. It can be anything from going out to dinner to a game night to watching a movie together. So if you ever hear like these couples talking about sitting down and watching Game of Thrones together or things like that, that would be their quality time. Like I can't go ahead and and continue to watch Game of Thrones because I watch it with my wife. I watch it with my boyfriend. Yeah, that's the quality time. Words of affirmation. One way to define words of affirmation would be words of appreciation or words of praise. Excuse me. It's any sort of verbal or written communication that shows your partner how much they are loved and why. Think about how to give somebody words of affirmation that are about their being, to have to do with their personal qualities that this person brings, how generous they are, how kind they are, how smart they are, how flexible they are, how gentle, kind, or compassionate they are. Leaving notes for them in their work bag, giving them thoughtful cards just because, and taking time to verbally acknowledge the things about your partner that you are grateful for and the things that you love about them. And physical touch. If you feel comfortable, loved, and secure when you're physically connected to your partner, then physical touch might be your primary love language. It's about using your body to express connection and love. Actions include these things beyond sexual intimacy, like making an active effort to hold hands, hug and kiss, snuggle on the couch, give a massage, or anything else your partner enjoys in terms of physical touch. Sometimes physical touch can be risky, so in a sense that it is to be well received. It has to be appropriate. It has to be timely. It has to be the intensity of the kind of partner likes and appreciates. Now, the benefits of understanding love languages. Understanding and implementing love languages in your relationship helps guarantee that you and your partner are going to feel more satisfied in the relationship. So if both people understand that their own love language, their partner's love language, they're going to feel more taken care of and more satisfied because they are going to see the way their partner shows love and appreciate that. And then they are going to see the way their partners stretch to show them love the way they want to be shown love. And are they going to appreciate that even more? But it's a bit deeper than merely understanding each other's love language. In the love languages, all of them, knowing your partner and knowing what lands for them turns them out to be quite important. The fact that fall, the acts that fall under each love language become amplified when those acts demonstrate how well you know your partner. So Miller, giving a gift is not as important as someone giving a gift you know they would enjoy. And giving your partner words of affirmation about their appearance may not be as appreciate them as telling them how much you appreciate them. So those are like the love languages. For me, I know my love languages, and it's words of affirmation and physical touch. I have both of these. You know, I want you to, you know, I want those things. I want those like thank you for taking out the garbage. Thank you for washing the dishes. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it when you did this. I really appreciate it when you did that. That's good to hear. Just know that you're just not expecting, me to do something because I'm, you know, that's the way it is. That you actually appreciate it. I think that's the way to, that's one way for me to realize that, that I'm being loved. Another one is the physical touch. Yes, physical touch me. Let me know that you like me. Touch me, hug on me, kiss on me. Let me grab and touch on you. You know. Um, Let me know that you are accepting of my advances and my touching of you. So once I know that I can do that, that's all I want to do. But it's not because of any type of trying to get some sex or anything like that. It's just a touch. It's just I feel that it's like the intimacy of just being together and doing what you should do when you are in a relationship. So those are my love languages. What are yours? Think about that for a second. Think about what are your love languages, and maybe incorporate that into your relationship with your partner. So something to think about. Uh, so let's go now to another part of this. Let's talk about red flags, and we're gonna end the podcast with red flags. So when it comes to red flags, um, according to the Google AI, it's identifying potentially problematic or unhealthy behaviors in a dating or romantic relationship is crucial for emotional well-being. Here's a breakdown of potential red flags to watch for in a female partner. And I think you can do this with males as well. 1. Controlling or manipulative behavior. Excessive jealousy, constant accusations of infidelity, or attempts to control interactions with others. Isolation attempts, discouraging time with friends and family, creating dependence. Yes. If they don't want you to spend time with their mother, yes, that is a big red flag. Monitoring and tracking, checking phone records, social media, or requiring constant updates on location. Making decisions for you, dictating choices about your finances, career, social life, or making personal appearance. Personal appearance. We've all heard the thing about like hair Nazis. A guy wants his girlfriend's or wife's hair to be a certain way and anything like that. And you can have preferences. I have preferences, but you can't sit up there and say your hair has to be like this. You can't just do that. Guilt tripping and emotional blackmail, using guilt to control behavior or get desired outcomes. Yeah, that's totally wrong. Number 2, lack of respect or support. Dismissive of feelings and opinions, not valuing your thoughts, concerns, or emotional needs. Now see, that's kind of interesting because being dismissive of feelings and opinions, is one thing. But if we're going back to the first one, if your opinion is that, you know, you know, you're not allowed to have social media, and I've heard girls say that, and in fact, if you think about like Stephen A. Smith when he's talking about personal personal things like that. He's talking about that he's never gonna be in a relationship with a girl that has social media or anything like that. Well, that's really that's kind of controlling, right? That's a red flag. No, that's not the way to go. Public humiliation, criticizing, belittling, or embarrassing you in front of others. Yes. Question. Unwillingness to compromise. Always needing to have her way, refusing to consider your perspective. And listen, there are, again, I think with this one, there is a balance. Yes, compromise is one of the best things, but there are things that you have to put your foot down. When in both situations of the girl and the guy, there's certain things that you cannot things on because you talk about like compromise and things like that. But if that involves like going back up to like trying to change you or change your personal appearance, no. Like or change who you are. Like I'm not going to stop playing video games. And if I happen to stop because of my choice, it's fine. But I'm not stopping just because I now have a girlfriend or a wife. That's not gonna happen. And if you if you if you give me an ultimatum, which never happened in a thing, that's another red flag. Give you an ultimatum because of from something stupid as playing video games. I'm always going to choose the ultimatum. I'm always going to choose that. Because that talk about controlling an ultimatum. Giving somebody an ultimatum for something stupid is controlling. It is. Dishonesty and secret keeping, lack of transparency, hiding aspects of life or relationships. Yes, I think that is, yeah. And when you say it like that, yes. But sometimes keeping a secret, is something that you have to do sometimes. Three, emotional instability and maturity. Extreme mood swings and outbursts, overreacting to minor issues like you playing video games, displaying unpredictable emotions. 3. Blame shifting and lack of accountability, deflecting responsibility for mistakes, blaming you for their problems. 3. Difficulty managing emotions, struggling to handle stress, anger, or conflict constructively. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think the big one with this is that, you know, if someone goes low on you, like your argument, and then they pull out the low blow, yeah, that's something that's something you don't need to be dealing with. The constant need for validation, seeking excessive praise or reassurance, showing low. 4. Unhealthy relationship patterns. Moving too fast, love bombing, showering you with excessive affection, gifts, and attention early on, creating a whirlwind romance. Yeah, maybe, but I would also say, what is too fast? Again, it depends on like the different person. Like, yeah, we know there are people out there that they met the first day and they just knew they were for each other and they've been together ever since. And they get married like a week later. Like it's one of those things where like yeah, they met a week later they get married and then they've been together for like 30, 40 years. So yeah. Insistent communication inability, erratic contact, ignoring messages, calls, showing lack of reliability. I think that's one yes. Codependency, becoming overly reliant on each other, neglecting individual needs in other relationships. Number 5, past relationship red flags. Blaming exes for everything. Portraying the past relationship as entirely the ex's fault, failing to acknowledge any personal responsibility. Excessive focus on exes, talking about exes constantly, and comparing you to them. Yeah, you can't do it. You can't compare exes to who you are with now. You can't do that, and you can't have what the ex did to you. You can't now put that on your new relationship. Yeah. So yeah, my ex. So going back to one of the earlier headings or words. My ex cheated on me, so now I have to check your messages. No, you don't. You have to check my messages. Or now I have to know the code to unlock your phone. No, you don't. No, you don't. So here are some important notes. Context is key. Although these behaviors can be red flags, consider the context and frequency. Occasional instances may not be a major concern. Trust your gut. If something feels off or makes you uncomfortable, don't ignore your intuition. Communicate openly. Discuss your concerns with your partner to address issues and seek clarification. Set boundaries. Establish clear limits on acceptable behavior to enforce them. Seek support. Talk to trusted friends, families, or therapists if you're concerned or unsure. And prioritize your well-being. Ultimately, your safety and happiness are paramount. If the relationships feel consistently unhealthy, considering ending it. So now, like, let me give you my red flags. But what I see, a lot of things are open, and I think I agree with a lot of them. I definitely agree with the unable to communicate. Right? If every time we get into an argument, your thing is to start name calling and to go after like my weakness or whatever. Start calling me names. Like I don't need you to be doing that. You're supposed to be, you know, you're supposed to love me and care me. And you calling me names? No, I don't need that. I think one red flag, and I saw it the other day, looking on TikTok, is women who look down upon guys who wear jerseys. Again, really? You are going to look down upon a guy who's wearing a jersey. I am wearing the jersey of my favorite athlete, one of my favorite players on my team. And you're going to look down upon me, say I'm quote unquote undateable because I have on a jersey. That is a red flag. It kind of shows the kind of instability you have. You are ridiculous, and you will be ridiculous. Not gonna happen. Again, we talked about like trying to change people, like not accepting people for who they are. If and again, I'm not giving up my video games. There's not. I don't care if I'm 43. I'm probably gonna be playing them until I'm 63, or unless something happens before then, I do want to stop. But I don't think I want to stop because these video games are awesome. I'm probably gonna continue to play the rest of my life until I get old, old age or die or something like that. Until I forget how to play them. And you're not gonna want to date me because I play video games. Fuck you. Red flag. No, red flag. Another red flag is if you use any type of, you know, if you bash men. Yeah, that's a red flag. If you use the word mansplaining or all men, you know, if you use those phrases, it's a red flag. don't want that in my life. No, no. And there are so many other red flags I'm just not thinking of right now, but they always come to me and things like that. So, but yeah, this you guys up there listening, like, what are your red flags? Think about that as as you are looking for like red flags in relationships. Think about something like if they are. And also think about this. Can these red flags also be, you know, as the things in context? What are the context of red flags? You know, because yeah, are they someone who's going to try to change you, or are they someone who's going to accept you? Like again, like I just thought of one, right? I'm a huge football guy, huge wrestling guy. I am probably not going to be going out. I'm not going to be going out on the weekends during football season. I got college all day Saturday. I got pro all day Sunday. Probably will not be going out. Excuse me. You have a problem with that? That is maybe a red flag. You can't accept that. That could be a red flag. Or maybe the red flag would be accepting it, but then thinking that, oh, well, once you get to the relationship, he'll change. No, I won't. And when it comes to wrestling, I'm not, you know, I'm not doing things again in certain times of the year. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, things like that. No, yeah, I am not going to be going out. I'm not going to be going to a wedding. You know, at the end of July, at the beginning of February. And I'm not going to be, at the end of March, beginning of April. I won't be doing it because that's Royal Rumble and WrestleMania time. Try to change me? Red flag. So there's a lot of things that you have to think about when you think about red flags in a relationship, things like that. Find out what your red flags are, and see if are they big enough red flags to where it's something that it's a deal breaker, or is it something where maybe it's a red flag, but I might be able to, be okay with it because of whatever reason. So go out there and think about it. Think about your red flags. Think about your love languages. Let's take a quick break, and we're gonna come back and end this podcast. All right, y'all. That is gonna be it for this episode of the AJTRIP show. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah, make sure you go to patron.com/AJTRIP to become a Patreon. Once I hit a certain amount of patrons, you'll be able to determine what you hear on this here podcast. Then, what you see on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/AJTrip20. And also what video games I play on my Twitch channel. I have to have the video game on twitch.tv/AJTrip20. Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. This is your boy, AJ Trip, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.